Welcome, seekers of inspiration, to a journey not just through time, but through the remarkable depths of human spirit. Today we embark on an exploration of an era defined by ambition, ingenuity, and the unyielding drive to push beyond the known. We'll discover how humanity, faced with formidable challenges, transformed limitations into leaps, and embraced the unknown, not as a barrier, but as a boundless opportunity. This is a story of innovation's crucible, forging a new world, a testament to the courage of pioneers, the brilliance of inventors, and the profound impact of global interconnectedness. Prepare to witness how the seemingly insurmountable obstacles of the past became the very foundations upon which a new, interconnected world was built, offering timeless lessons in resilience, vision, and the enduring power of human potential. Let's begin our exploration by stepping into a world where the edges beckoned and the will to explore was paramount. Imagine yourself standing at the precipice of the late medieval and early modern period, a time when the world, as most people knew it, felt both vast and incredibly confined. For centuries, the established trade routes winding overland through deserts and mountains, or hugging the coasts of known seas, had served their purpose. Yet these routes were increasingly precarious, vulnerable to political shifts, hostile empires, and the whims of powerful intermediaries. The allure of direct access to the rich spices of the East, the shimmering silks and exotic treasures, grew stronger with each passing year, but the path was blocked, the distances daunting, and the dangers ever present. This was a world on the cusp, yearning for expansion, yet limited by its own perceived boundaries. The edges beckoned, promising immense wealth and knowledge, but also shrouded in a deep fear of the unknown. The daily challenges of long-distance travel were not merely inconvenient, they were life-threatening. Overland journeys were fraught with brigands, treacherous terrain, and the constant need for supplies. Sea voyages, though potentially faster, were limited to coastal navigation by the very design of the ships. Imagine the immense logistical hurdles involved in transporting goods across continents, the vast amounts of time consumed, and the significant risks to human life and cargo. The very concept of crossing an ocean, of disappearing beyond the familiar horizon for months on end, is a thought that stirred both adventurous spirit and profound terror. Maps of the time were often incomplete. Mythical beasts adorned the unexplored regions, and the prevailing belief in a flat Earth, while not universally held by scholars, certainly influenced the popular imagination, reinforcing the idea of a perilous, abrupt edge to existence. Yet, from within this crucible of limitation, the ingenuity of humanity began to ignite. Necessity, as ever, proved to be the mother of invention, leading to a remarkable evolution in shipbuilding. For centuries, the workhorse vessels of European trade had been the cog, sturdy but slow, or the galley, reliant on oars for propulsion. But as the desire for longer voyages grew, shipwrights, through generations of trial and error, began to perfect their craft. Imagine the meticulous shaping of timber, the careful sealing of planks, and the innovative rigging of sails. This incremental progress led to the birth of truly revolutionary vessels: the caravel and the carrack. The caravel, with its slender hull, and most notably its lateen sails, borrowed from Arab designs, allowed ships to sail into the wind. A profound breakthrough that unshackled vessels from the dictates of prevailing currents. Imagine the sense of liberation this innovation brought, the ability to control one's direction with newfound precision. The larger carrack, with its multiple masts and combination of square and lateen sails, offered greater cargo capacity and stability for vast oceanic crossings. These were not sudden leaps, but the culmination of countless small adjustments, each one a testament to the practical ingenuity of shipwrights and sailors who painstakingly perfected their craft, learning from every storm endured and every voyage completed. Each nail driven, each rope tied, was an act of faith in the possibility of reaching beyond. With improved ships came the dire need for better ways to navigate the vast, featureless expanse of the open ocean. Before this era, sailors primarily relied on dead reckoning calculating position based on a known starting point, estimated speed, and direction. But far from shore, errors compounded rapidly. It was here that the pursuit of knowledge truly shone. As mariners and scholars collaborated to develop early navigational tools. Imagine peering through a quadrant or an astrolabe. Instruments that allowed sailors to measure the altitude of celestial bodies like the sun or the North Star. These readings, combined with newly developing tables, provided a crucial way to determine latitude. The magnetic compass, though known for centuries, became increasingly vital, offering a consistent sense of direction, even in cloudy weather. The daily act of observing stars and sun, meticulously charting courses on rudimentary maps, and recording every detail in logbooks, demanded incredible patience, keen observation, and a deep understanding of the natural world. It was a partnership between human intellect and the rhythms of the cosmos. These were not just tools. They were the embodiment of human intellect applied to an immense unsolved problem, transforming the invisible into something quantifiable, enabling sailors to trust that they could, indeed, find their way home or to a new destination. Yet despite these technological marvels, life at sea remained an extraordinary test of resolve. Imagine spending months, sometimes even over a year, in cramped, unsanitary conditions. The wooden ships, though sturdy, offered little comfort. You would endure monotonous diets of hardtack, salted meat, and dried fish, leading inevitably to deficiencies like scurvy, a debilitating disease that claimed countless lives. The constant threat of storms, which could appear suddenly and devastate a vessel, loomed large. And perhaps most profoundly, there was the gnawing isolation. The profound sense of being utterly alone in the vastness, far from any familiar shore, any comforting voice. The mental fortitude and adaptability required to survive months at sea, endure discomfort, fear, and boredom was immense. Sailors learned to find rhythm in the rolling waves, camaraderie in shared hardship, and solace in the distant stars. Every arrival at a new port, every sighting of land, was a triumph not just of navigation, but of the human spirit's unwavering will to endure. These were the daily acts of perseverance that collectively forged the path to a new world. They were not merely voyagers, they were living embodiments of resilience, their very survival, a testament to humanity's capacity to overcome, to adapt, and to always reach for what lies beyond the horizon. As the sails of innovation billowed with new possibilities, humanity's gaze turned toward the most formidable challenge yet: a complete circumnavigation of the Earth. It was a vision, audacious enough to border on madness, testament to raw courage and unwavering conviction. At the heart of this seemingly impossible dream stood a figure whose name would forever be etched into the annals of exploration: Ferdinand Magellan. Imagine the world in the early 16th century, a time when maps still tapered off into unknown horizons and the vastness of the global ocean remained largely a mystery. While Columbus had reached the Americas, the elusive western passage to the riches of the Spice Islands, the true goal of so many expeditions, remained undiscovered. Magellan, a Portuguese nobleman with extensive sailing experience in the East, conceived of a plan so bold it was initially met with widespread skepticism and outright rejection. He proposed sailing west, around the southern tip of the newly discovered American continent. To reach Asia, it was a journey deemed impossible by many. A wild gamble against prevailing geographical understanding and the known limits of human endurance. Securing funding was an immense struggle, a constant battle against entrenched doubts and rival interests. Yet, his unwavering belief in his vision and the sheer audacity of his proposal eventually swayed the Spanish crown, setting in motion one of history's most profound voyages. The journey itself became a testament to monumental struggle and leadership. Setting sail in August 1519 with 5 ships and a crew of about 270 men, Magellan embarked on what would become a grueling, years-long ordeal. Imagine the sheer scale of the challenges faced. Brutal weather tested their flimsy vessels. Food supplies dwindled, and the morale of the crew plummeted. Mutinies erupted. One particularly vicious revolt, quelled by Magellan with a mix of ruthless decisiveness and strategic cunning. After months of navigating the South American coast, they finally discovered the treacherous strait that would forever bear his name. Imagine the sheer relief followed by the intense, meticulous navigation required to thread their way through its winding, unpredictable channels, battling fierce currents and biting cold. Each day through the strait was a triumph of perseverance over despair, testament to Magellan's unyielding determination and his ability to hold his desperate crew together. Emerging from the strait, a new, daunting challenge presented itself: the vast, uncharted expanse of the Pacific Ocean. For nearly 4 agonizing months, Magellan's remaining ships sailed across this immense, seemingly endless body of water. Imagine the sheer psychological toll of such a journey. Day after day, week after week, with no land in sight, only the vast blue stretching to every horizon. The suffering of the crew was immense. Scurvy ravaged their bodies, leading to swollen gums, agonizing pain, and death. Starvation became a constant companion, forcing them to eat leather, sawdust, and rats to survive. Yet through this harrowing ordeal, Magellan's vision burned brightly, his leadership pushing them forward. His navigational skills were precise, guiding them through the emptiness with remarkable accuracy and near miraculous survival against all odds, driven by an unshakable belief in their destination. Ultimately, Ferdinand Magellan did not complete the circumnavigation himself. He met a tragic end in April 1521 in the Philippines, caught in a local tribal conflict. It was a poignant reminder of the unpredictable and often brutal cost of exploration. However, his death did not negate the profound impact of his vision. One of his ships, the Victoria, against all expectations, under the command of Juan Elcano, continued the journey west. Eventually limping back to Spain in September 1522, only 18 men, a fraction of the original crew, survived the incredible ordeal. Their return was a monumental triumph, proving definitively that the Earth was round and that all its oceans were connected. Magellan's audacious plan, though unfinished by him personally, irrevocably changed humanity's understanding of global geography, reshaped cartography, and opened new avenues for trade and exploration. His courage, strategic brilliance, and ultimate sacrifice forged a new global reality, a monumental testament to the human spirit's capacity for extraordinary achievement. From the grand physical journey of circumnavigation, we now turn our attention to a revolution of a different kind, a revolution not of ships in distant lands, but of ideas. For centuries, the access to knowledge was a privilege, confined to the few, laboriously created, and painstakingly preserved. This scarcity of information profoundly shaped societies, limiting literacy and the spread of thought. But on the cusp of the early modern era, a quiet, methodical obsession in a German workshop was about to change everything. Imagine a world where books were precious, rare artifacts. Before Johannes Gutenberg's movable type, each copy of a book, whether a sacred text or a philosophical treatise, had to be meticulously written out by hand. Scribes, often working for years, would painstakingly transcribe every letter, every word, onto parchment or paper. This was a process of immense dedication, but it was also incredibly slow, prone to error, and prohibitively expensive. Only the wealthiest individuals, the most powerful institutions, or the most dedicated monasteries could afford the luxury of a library. As a result, knowledge remained largely confined, passed down through oral tradition or through very limited, expensive written forms. The vast majority of people lived in a world where the written word was a distant, almost mythical concept, limiting their ability to engage with complex ideas or to share their own. But it was into this world of intellectual scarcity that Gutenberg's quiet obsession began to take shape. Johannes Gutenberg, a goldsmith from Mainz, was driven by a relentless pursuit to mechanize the process of printing. This wasn't a sudden flash of genius, but a methodical, iterative journey filled with countless individual challenges and an immense capacity for perseverance. Imagine him in his workshop, experimenting with different metal alloys to cast durable, uniform pieces of type for each letter. Picture him wrestling with the problem of creating an ink that would adhere precisely to the metal type, but transfer cleanly to paper, or designing a press that could apply consistent pressure for clear, legible impressions. There were numerous failures, setbacks, and moments of profound frustration. Each successful step was a testament to his inventive spirit, his willingness to learn from error, and his unyielding belief in the transformative power of his vision. The eventual perfection of the printing press with movable type brought about a profound and democratizing impact on information. Suddenly, books could be produced not just in dozens, but in hundreds, and then thousands, with remarkable speed and consistency. Imagine the revolutionary shift as the cost of books plummeted, making them accessible to a wider and wider population. This economic transformation sparked an unprecedented surge in literacy across Europe. More people learned to read because there was finally something readily available to read. The immediate and visible consequence was the rapid dissemination of knowledge, allowing ideas to travel further and faster than ever before. Think of the Bible, once a text exclusively for clergy and scholars. It's now available to ordinary people in their own languages, fostering new interpretations and profound personal connections. This transformative cultural innovation ignited nothing less than a new era of thought. The explosion of readily available printed materials became a critical catalyst for the Renaissance, fueling a renewed interest in classical learning, science, and the arts. It accelerated the Reformation, as theological arguments and critiques could be printed and spread quickly, challenging established dogma. Scientific inquiry was massively advanced, as researchers could now share their findings, build upon each other's work, and engage in a collaborative pursuit of understanding on an unprecedented scale. The printing press fundamentally changed the nature of public discourse, allowing for the emergence of pamphlets, newspapers, and broadsheets that facilitated the exchange of opinions and debates. It was a silent revolution without the clang of swords or the roar of cannons, but one that irrevocably changed the very fabric of society, unlocking the potential of collective knowledge and reshaping the course of human intellectual history. It was a monumental triumph of ingenuity, proving that the greatest revolutions often begin with a single, brilliant idea. From the intellectual revolution sparked by the printing press, our narrative now expands to encompass a global transformation, a fundamental reshaping of the world driven by the very spirit of exploration and innovation we've discussed. This era saw the emergence of truly global networks, weaving together distant continents and diverse cultures in ways previously unimaginable, creating the foundational threads of our modern interconnected world. One of the most significant and complex aspects of this era was the Columbian Exchange. Imagine the momentous, albeit largely unintended, consequences of connecting to previously separate biological and cultural spheres, the old world and the new. While we must acknowledge the immense human cost and the tragic impact of diseases brought to indigenous populations, this exchange also fostered long-term global interconnectedness on an unprecedented scale. New crops from the Americas, like potatoes, corn, and tomatoes, traveled to Europe, Africa, and Asia, profoundly changing diets and fueling massive population growth worldwide. Conversely, European livestock, grains, and technologies found their way to the Americas. This immense exchange of plants, animals, and cultures, despite its devastating aspects, fundamentally altered global ecosystems and agricultural practices, creating a more diverse and productive food supply for a rapidly expanding human population. As exploration continued, it naturally led to the rise of global trade networks. No longer confined to overland routes or coastal voyages, the great oceanic journeys established new maritime highways connecting continents. Imagine vast fleets of ships, laden with goods, sailing across the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. This created unprecedented economic opportunities and fostered rich cultural exchanges. Powerful merchant companies emerged, organizing complex ventures, pooling capital, and developing sophisticated financial instruments like joint stock companies, which allowed for larger, more ambitious undertakings. From the silks of China and the spices of the East Indies, to the silver of the Americas and the manufactured goods of Europe, a truly global economy began to take shape, linking distant markets and transforming local economies into interconnected systems. This global flow of goods and wealth spurred further innovation and drove a relentless pursuit of efficiency and new resources. The very act of exploring and charting these new connections also spurred remarkable scientific advancement. The need for better navigation propelled advancements in cartography, leading to increasingly accurate maps and charts that meticulously detailed coastlines, currents, and depths. Astronomy gained new importance, as understanding celestial movements was crucial for determining position at sea. Natural history flourished as explorers brought back specimens of unknown flora and fauna, challenging existing scientific paradigms and expanding humanity's understanding of the natural world. This era of exploration provided a rich tapestry of new data and observations, fueling the scientific revolution and fostering a spirit of empirical inquiry that would redefine humanity's relationship with knowledge. The desire to conquer geographical unknowns directly led to a profound increase in intellectual understanding. Ultimately, these interwoven innovations and explorations fundamentally reshaped humanity's worldview. The age of exploration marked a profound transition from a fragmented, regional understanding of the world to a more interconnected, albeit often unequal, global perspective. The realization of a truly global ocean, of vast continents previously unknown, challenged ancient beliefs and expanded the very horizons of human thought. It led to the recognition that humanity was part of a larger, interconnected system, laying the groundwork for future global interactions. International law and a shared, if sometimes fraught, destiny. The courage of those who dared to sail beyond the edge, the brilliance of those who invented the means, and the immense, enduring impact of these global connections stand as a powerful testament to humanity's capacity to transcend perceived limits and forge a new, interconnected world. We have now journeyed through an extraordinary chapter of human history, one defined by the relentless pursuit of what lies beyond the horizon, beyond the limitations of technology, and beyond the confines of old ideas. From the incremental innovations in shipbuilding that allowed for unprecedented voyages, to the monumental vision of Ferdinand Magellan in circumnavigating the globe, we've seen courage transformed into tangible achievement. We then delved into the quiet revolution of the printing press, witnessing how a single invention could democratize knowledge and ignite an explosion of human thought. Finally, we explored the profound global interconnectedness forged by trade and exchange, reshaping not just maps, but mindsets, and setting the stage for the world we inhabit today. This era, the age of exploration, and its interwoven innovations, serves as a powerful reminder of humanity's boundless potential. It teaches us that seemingly insurmountable obstacles can be overcome with ingenuity, that vision, even when met with skepticism, can reshape the world, and that the pursuit of knowledge is a continuous, transformative force. The pioneers and inventors of this period faced vast unknowns, immense risks, and unimaginable hardships. Yet their unwavering determination, their collaborative spirit, and their unyielding drive to understand and connect ultimately led to triumphs that echoed across centuries. As you reflect on these stories of human triumph, consider the profound lessons they offer for our own lives. Challenges, however daunting, often hold the seeds of innovation. Curiosity, patiently pursued, can unlock revolutionary breakthroughs, and the courage to connect, to understand, and to build bridges, whether across oceans or between ideas, remains the most powerful force for positive change. May these historical narratives inspire you to embrace your own potential, to face your challenges with renewed resolve, and to always seek the horizons of possibility within your own world. The spirit of human triumph endures, a timeless wellspring of inspiration for all who dare to look beyond. That brings us to the end of another journey through the annals of inspirational history. We hope this story of triumph, resilience, and the enduring human spirit has left you feeling empowered and reflective. If you were moved by this tale, please like this video, subscribe to our channel for more journeys into the past, and comment below with your thoughts or any historical moments that inspire you. Your engagement helps us continue to share these powerful stories of human triumph.